for the young man. Can he make himself a hero? He has done.
I said I wasn't going to make a video on the absolute carnage that was the FA Cup Classic this past Sunday. Obviously, Manchester United 4, Liverpool 3, and I should have bloody been there. So I've been kind of mixed emotions all week, obviously on a high, but on a low that I wasn't there to experience it for the channel, for you guys. But that said, utter carnage as we said, goals galore. Manchester United finished a game with only 2 defenders left on the pitch, Diallo and Harry Maguire. They even had Bruno Fernandes filling in at centre-back.
Anthony made a great effort playing as a left-back to help us.
Erik Ten Hag took a gamble, and obviously the gamble paid off. If the gamble hadn't have paid off, I know people were questioning some of the substitutions. I think a lot of people would have been turning up at Erik's door with pitchforks. But that gamble made me feel somewhat nostalgic, reminiscent about a former Manchester United manager, a legend who would very often take a similar gamble. For those of you who have read Alex Ferguson's autobiography, he often references the fact that he loves a gamble. On the pitch, of course. Now, the match did have, for me, more prevalent reasons for the Ferguson comparisons though. All the way back in the 1989-90 season, it was Alex Ferguson's 4th season at the helm in charge of Manchester United. But it's safe to say, United were struggling. They just lost 5-1 to Man City. They'd gone 6 league games without a win. And it looked like a 4th successive season for Fergie without a trophy. In danger of a relegation battle and fresh off a 2-1 defeat at home at Old Trafford versus Crystal Palace, a fan made that now infamous banner. 3 years of excuses and it's still crap. Ta-ra, Fergie. United were drawn against Nottingham Forest in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and leading into that game it was heavily rumoured that if United were to get knocked out of the FA Cup, Alex Ferguson would lose his job. Skipping forward for a moment, we know that United would win that match, win that FA Cup, and Alex Ferguson would become a winning machine. But let's firstly look at the comparisons with Erik Ten Hag. Now, rumours of Ten Hag's sacking are nothing new. I remember being at the Brentford game all the way back in October, when Brentford went 1-0 up. All the Brentford fans were chanting, "Sacked in the morning." So Ten Hag has had those chants, those rumours for months now. United have generally underperformed all season, so I don't think another poor result, Liverpool knocking us out of the FA Cup, would have resulted Ten Hag getting sacked in the morning. As context, United were all the way down in the bottom half of the table around the time of that FA Cup 3rd round match against Forest in 1990. And again, as context, United, as of filming this, currently sit in 6th. But granted, due to the success of Alex Ferguson, fans' expectations are a lot higher. Now 6th, at this moment in time, for most fans, just is not good enough. More on that in a moment, because there's a lot creepier aspects to this story. Forest were a decent team back then under Brian Clough, and United were heading to the City ground without Captain Marvel Brian Robson, Lee Sharp and Paul Ince. So up stepped a young Manchester youth system player named Mark Robins. Now Robins would score the only goal in the game, the goal that's often referred to as the goal that saved Fergie's job. Yep, the same Mark Robins who's the manager of the team Manchester United will face in the semi-final of the FA Cup a whopping 34 years later. It seems fitting that in a poor season for United standards, Ten Hag has a lifeline in the form of FA Cup glory, with the irony being he has to beat a Coventry City side led by the man who also gifted Alex Ferguson a lifeline all those years ago. So guys, I know that we're in a different era than the late 80s, early 90s. Generally speaking, managers don't have the same amount of time they did back then. People often think that had Fergie been United manager now, he wouldn't have been gifted that time. So as much as I've questioned Ten Hag's substitutions, transfers, tactics, I've been questioning Ten Hag non-stop, and there's been times during this season where basically I've kind of wanted Ten Hag out. But when we step back, look at the situation objectively? Is that even the terminology? And when you hear of rumours of Gareth Southgate in the pipeline, when you look at other options United might have in terms of managers, there's not many managers out there. For me, Ten Hag hasn't even been in the job for 2 seasons. I do feel like he at least needs to finish this season. Let's see how he gets on. But I know under the new ownership, co-ownership, under the new management in place here at Manchester United, they might want a new man. But I think, again, if we're making comparisons to more modern managers, Arteta was given that time. Arteta finished 8th in his first 2 seasons, narrowly missed out on Champions League in the first season and finished 5th. Obviously last season, kind of bottled the title and Arsenal finished 2nd. But at the moment, Arsenal are pushing for the title. For me, with the right backing, Ten Hag maybe could, maybe not do what Fergie's done, but he could definitely progress. For me, and for many United fans, when you hear of Gareth Southgate in the pipeline after the Euros, it's a little bit concerning, but I've got to hand it to Gareth. Obviously, England's morale, camaraderie was always maybe a problem under England. He's created this really good feel-good atmosphere for England, and I understand that United have been somewhat a shambles behind the scenes, so maybe Southgate could create that unity for United. Anyway, let's put the Southgate rumours to one side. Guys, what do you think? Is it just irony that Manchester United are facing Coventry with Mark Robins in charge? Or is there a little similarity between Fergie and the Mark Robins goal? Does Ten Hag have a chance of redemption with an FA Cup win? Will it secure his role as Manchester United manager if United win the FA Cup? Remember, there's still a chance that United could qualify for the Champions League. So, for the first 2 seasons, winning a League Cup, qualifying for the Champions League, if you manage to pull off what seems to be the impossible and win the FA Cup and still qualify for the Champions League, it's very hard to not argue in Ten Hag's favour. Fergie was given time. For me, I sound like I'm going back on myself, but when I look at things, when I think about things with my brain, not my heart, off the back of a loss, maybe I'm getting carried away off the back of that amazing win. We've got to back the manager at least to the end of the season. Again, as context, Fergie's first 3 seasons, he finished 11th, then he finished 2nd, and then he finished 11th again. Different times, I know, different expectations. Remember, United had gone years and years and years without winning the title, but we've also gone almost 11 years without winning the title here. So we maybe need to put those Fergie era expectations to one side, concentrate on the now. Ladies and gents, I'm still absolutely gutted that I wasn't there on Sunday. For those who sent me footage, thank you very much. MUFC David, thank you, one of Germany's biggest Manchester United supporters. Fantastic game, even watching it on TV. And ladies and gents, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you, because this Sunday or this Saturday we're going to be at Luton ticking our final Premier League stadium off the list. So lots of great content coming to the channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe as we cover everything stadiums wise, nostalgia wise. We do match day vlogs and so on. It's good. Check out the videos next to me. I'll see you soon.
Come on tonight, unless you're red and white, I say there's trouble on the way.